And then take.
Look at it. Welcome, everyone. It's 11 o'clock. We'll give another minute for folks to hop on. We'll get started right at 11:01. All right, welcome everyone to the RFS pre-conference proposal number 3. So this is the request for services for the RFS for the CCBHC demonstration program. So today we're going to be just answering questions, but before we do that, just a couple of reminders on the questions. So if we can go to slide 2. Thank you. Is that no answers or information issued verbally at pre-proposal conferences are binding for the state unless later issued in writing. And so we're having 2 rounds of questions that will be answered through this process. The first round submission deadline was last week. We will be publishing those here. Remind me, Akasa, when our date is for publish for the first round. Is that on there?
Yeah,
oh, October 27th. Thanks, Matt. So we'll get those by the end of this week, and then the second round is required for by October 30th. Sorry, I'm like all around all these dates. So let's go back. I'm going to restart. So all questions must be submitted via email to that email address no later than October 30th. That's our second round deadline, okay, by 3 p.m. And that is using attachment H, the question and answers template. We will post written responses around October 27th. So that's that first round of questions that we received last week will be posted by around October 27th. And then the second round questions will be answers will be posted around November 6th. So, okay, I think that was much better round with getting clarity on our timelines here for how questions will be formally answered for those submitted. Just a reminder of how the subject line needs to read there as you submit questions. And so now that is just our reminders before we open it up for questions from the group. So what questions do we still have? Last time we reviewed attachment E related to formatting. I think we got a lot of those questions answered, but really opened up to anything.
Is this a form we could?
Thank you, Matt. Yes, Amy.
Thank you. Is this a format or that we can ask questions about the supplier portal with submitting, or should that be emailed to Teresa separate? For example, I was in the portal yesterday to see where we would be uploading information to. And one question, it looks like there's a section to upload the executive summary, and then it specifically calls out 3 attachments, but the attachment letter and the description don't match what was in the worksheets that were sent out by DMHA. So for example, in the portal, it says attachment D cost proposal, but I don't think, or attachment E business proposal, and that in the other form, that's attachment C. So they weren't lining up, at least what I was looking at.
Teresa, I'm not trying to cut you off. I want to make sure we have the right person. I know Teresa's on the line, but she's having some connectivity issues. Is that just the way the supplier portal reads, Teresa, in terms of the traditional lettering of RFP attachments?
Yes, it is. I can actually probably make the changes manually to those.
Yeah, because it's a little confusing to make sure things are in the right spot.
Gotcha.
And I didn't see anywhere where it asked for attachment F, which are the quality metrics, attachment G, which are the EBPs, and attachment E, which is a certification criteria. I didn't see those referenced at all in there. So where would those get uploaded?
I will make the change. I will make the changes for that, and you will see the changes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then one other question. There's a section for bid price, unit bid price versus no bill. Could you clarify what goes in either of those 2 boxes?
Teresa, can we remove those boxes?
No, you'll just have to put non-applicable. Or I'm trying to think if you have to put something in that.
Yeah, it looked like there were 2 options, either a unit bid price or a box to check no bid. And I just didn't know, which was appropriate.
Yes, submit that in writing. This is a fairly new system.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if I can totally remove those, or if we have to just say put 0 in that cost proposal piece.
But just include that in attachment H, or whatever the question attachment is.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
And no, thank you, Amy. Like Teresa noted, this was recently launched, this system, and you're pointing out some stuff that we're learning ourselves. But I do want to emphasize that something that we hit before. I super appreciate and I'm very grateful for your like punctilious review of the portal. It is coming to a human being on the other side. Right. So there shouldn't be a situation where if you put in 1 instead of a 0 in that box, like it doesn't make it to us. We do want to make sure that everyone uses the portal, and the portal is the official way in, and you got to upload it in the right spaces. And thank you for flagging those things. But I also want to note that it's not a punch card machine. You got a person on the other side, and we'll make sure to catch whatever comes in.
Right. All right. Thank you.
All right, Kimberly?
Thank you. I just want to clarify in the main document in the instructions, on page 8, it talks about utilizing zip files, a zip file. But then on page 14, it talks about using separate files and making all attachments. I want to make sure, are you expecting on the submission 1 email with the different attachments, or are you expecting an email that has 1 zip file with all the attachments in it?
Teresa, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that we shouldn't have to use a zip file anymore. That might be instructions left over from before the launch of this system and when things needed to be kind of emailed into a particular address. Teresa, just as Amy was noting, there should be a place to upload each file individually in the supplier portal, right?
There is, but the zip file that it's referring to is if you have large files, we do want you to zip them and upload them, because that just makes it easier for you to upload them and manage.
Yeah, and I think the templates themselves shouldn't be so large as to necessitate zipping, but
Yeah, it may not apply in this particular situation, but some of our RFPs can get pretty large and can get a lot of attachments and things with them. So that's kind of what it's referring to.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then I think there was a question in the chat on attachment D. Are we able to include tables within the yellow text boxes? And I will default to our formatting friends.
sure, I mean, you can paste anything in those boxes. If you think a table conveys what if is the best way to convey what you'd like to convey, sure. There's no restriction. I mean, I wouldn't put movies in there or something, but you can put a table in the yellow box, sure.
And then Sean Edwards, under the specs, templates are mentioned. Where are these templates located?
They are the attachments to the RFS. Many of those attachments are themselves templates, which you should be populating with your proposal. Specifically, the business proposal template is attachment C. The technical proposal response template is attachment D. The certification criteria template E. Quality metrics template F. EVP's template is attachment G. And there's an attestation form. And I think that's attachment I. Those are the templates. Those the attachments that are part of the RFS.
That is all of the questions in the chat. Are there any other? Oh, Mike.
Yes, I'm sorry, but I have a Zoom portal where I have some difficulties. So I'm sorry, this is a dumb question. So, aside from the attachment templates, we're also required to also upload other attachments such as the financial form and those types of documents. Will there be a box for that in the supplier report for us to upload those?
I was having a hard time understanding you, so I don't know if it's your connection, but if you can put the question in the chat, it may make it easier for us to make sure we answer it.
I can do that. Yeah.
Mhm. Some things. A couple other questions did come through in the chat. On the topic of submission format, are we permitted to change the document file types to XML? That is how it is listed on the supplier portal.
Megan, what file are you looking to change? There's also instructions saying don't change the file formats, but I mean, is there a reason or?
I just noticed on, I wanted to be clear about it because it's very clear in the solicitation not to change anything. But on upload a bid on the supplier portal, it says to upload a bid, do a file save as XML. So I just wanted to be clear that we could just upload it as a document, as a Word document, if that's the file, that's the original file type.
Sure, Teresa, that's how it's done, right? Like if we've put out a template that's in Excel or in Word, they can upload it in that format. And then if the supplier portal XMLs it or something, that's something we have to deal with, right? Teresa? Well, we may have lost her. Submit the question in writing, but there should be a way for you to upload the file in the templates format. But we don't expect you to convert it to a different file type. In fact, we would prefer that you don't, because it's easier for us to kind of read through it in its native format. But
Okay, thank you.
It looks like Todd has a question about accessing the recordings of the previous pre-proposal conferences. I know Matt and Teresa, if you guys can answer that question.
yeah, they are posted along with the RFS. So where you pulled down the RFS, you can get the pre-proposal conference. Oh, we got Teresa back too, right, Teresa?
Yes.
So
Told
Todd
there's a link,
mentioned
but-
that sorry, Teresa, Todd mentioned the links doesn't seem to be working. So I don't know if we've been able to test and confirm.
I can test it. I tested it when I posted it and it was working. I can test it again, and make sure they're working.
And if they're having issues, are they able to reach out to you, Teresa? Or what's the recommendation if they're still not working?
You broke up. I'm sorry. What did you ask me?
What if the links are still not working? Are they able to submit that through you to figure out a
Yeah.
solution?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be fine.
Okay, and we've got a couple other questions in the chat, but I'm going to get the hand raised, which I think is Andy. So, yes,
Hey
Andy,
folks,
what's
it's
your question?
Andy with Indiana Council. I just wanted to just comment on accessing the recordings. The issue that Zoe and I have had is that we click the link and it says that the session has ended. That's the message that we're getting. So we get to the link through the portal, but when we click it, it's not there. It says it's already ended. If that's helpful in any way.
Andy, are you clicking the link in the RFS for the webinar like this, or are you clicking the link of the recording that's uploaded among the RFS documents?
It's uploaded among the RFS documents.
Okay.
That's
We will.
feedback from Zoe.
Okay. We will
All right.
get to the bottom of it.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Okay, looks like May was able to put in her question. I haven't seen the supplier portal, so I apologize if this is a dumb question. No dumb questions, you know. But will there be upload boxes for us to upload supported documentation, for example, audits, letter support?
So Teresa, when we relabel the areas to upload each template, can we also have an area to upload supporting documents, because we have requested some of them? Well, the answer was yes, but I think we're losing Teresa today for some. I know she's having some connectivity issues. So my yes, and let's you know, for some reason there's not, and we've got some catastrophe. You can just attach it at the end of the template, right? And PDF it again, like there's a person collecting everything that's coming into through these boxes. And if you have to kind of make do by combining files or something to make it work, we're not going to. We will be glad to receive it in any way you can submit it, but there should be a place for you to upload the other documents.
Thank you so much.
I think we've covered all the questions in the chat. Other questions from those on who want to either raise their hand or put into the chat for us to answer? We've got Connie. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I was trying to type it in. It was getting too long, but I guess I'm not sure how to ask this question so that it makes the most sense. But when we're looking at a large region and we're looking at letters of support, and of course, there's multiple partners in every county that we would have. I guess I'm trying to understand, like, how important are those letters of support, or if should we get one from each criminal justice, each law enforcement, you know, each hospital that we're in, that we're going to be helping to serve? All of those counties have different, you know, groups, criminal courts, all of those things. So is it imperative that we get letters of support from all these different agencies, or should we get a sampling of letters of support and then just focus on the fact that we have these others listed with their addresses and their contact information?
Not sure we can provide specific guidance on that, mostly just because I think that kind of gets into a bit more of the some specificity on scoring and the like, which we're not able to share. I would recommend doing whatever you feel like is going to be best for your organization and strengthen your application. We don't have any guidance specifically for folks on that.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Yes, and Matt, thank you for the reminder. He also indicated in the chat to submit that question in writing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any final questions for today? We have one more. So we have one more pre-proposal conference. So and reminder for those, I know some hopped on, we have the slide up here that has those deadlines on that for formal submission of questions, which is really your source of truth. Anything verbally stated here is helpful, however, is not binding. So continue to submit those questions via that email instructions below, and make sure you get those into us no later than October 30th at 3 p.m. And that will be the last opportunity for the formal answers to be posted by November 6th. The first round is currently being worked through, and there will be responses posted around October 27th. Okay, well, if nothing else, we can end our pre-proposal conference a little early. Last call. All right, well, thank you, everyone. We can kind of go to the last slide there with Teresa's information. If you have questions, we're going to be looking into some of the technical issues and hopefully getting those resolved. If not, there's Teresa's email. And just we'll hopefully see you on the next one. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.